top. And today I have a very, very special guest. He's someone which proves to us that age is just a number. And when we keep talking about longevity, healthy, longer lives, he is the manifestation of Goki's belief that you can invest in your health, on your well-being at any point of time and become a better version of yourself. So my guest today is a celebrated army man. He's none other than Colonel Minocha, Colonel Ravi Minocha, who's been having an illustrious career in the Indian Armed Forces, specifically in the Indian Army, and he has some stories to talk about. And as you can see today, he's also joined by his family, his son Akhil and Mrs. Minocha over here, where it shows that we are not an island. Health is something which we all need to take collectively as a person, as a family, and as a society. And with Goki and what we are doing, Colonel Minocha has set almost a record. He lost almost 20 kgs, and now he's only young at 80, as we say. So clearly, in our conversation today, we are going to learn a lot about what he's been doing and his secret and his hacks on becoming a better version of himself. So once again, welcome, Colonel Minocha. Really happy to have you on the show.
My pleasure. Thank you.
So my first question to you, sir, is tell us that how did this transformation happen? You know, when we announced this episode, there was so much, everybody on Twitter, social media में सब हमको पूछ रहे हैं ये कैसे हो सकता है, ये real है कि नहीं. A lot of people have a lot of skepticism and questions around it, and which is why we said let's do this live video with you. So we would love to know about your journey and how did you achieve what a lot of people think was an impossible task.
Well, just to give you a bit of background, Vishal, I was a case of acute orthoarthritis, diagnosed about 8 to 9 years back. With the result, my mobility had reduced tremendously. So having retired from the Army in the year 1994, that's almost about 29, 30 years back, initially I did a bit of assignments in the civil for about 8 to 10 years, played golf also. But after 2011, my knee pain became quite acute, and that led to a lot of problems for me. My mobility reduced. It became a vicious circle. I was fond of eating all the good things, so it kept on accumulating. So when I retired, I was about 80, 85, 86 kgs. In due course of time, I gained a lot of weight and we went up to a whopping 99 kilos. A stage came when I could barely walk for about 8 to 10 minutes. I had to take some rest. Again, recoup. That way, that's how I was managing. Then I realized, well, this is no way of living. So wisdom dawned on me. I said, I must do something about it. All along, I have been with GOQii since almost 5 to 6 years back. And I've been religiously following their guidelines, their advice, the tips given by the coach from the logs which I've been logging every day, which have been monitored by the coach. And getting back to me, the coach has been very supportive in the sense, knowing my problem, I was never discouraged. Whatever little bit I did, I was getting encouragement. Gradually, I started taking a proper diet, and along with the help of the coach who always motivated me to remain active as much as possible. So that was the key to it. The remaining active, even if it's a question of a bit of discomfort, you have to come out from your comfort zone to achieve results. So that's how over a period of time from 99 gradually came down in about 2.5 years time. I reduced to almost 77 kgs of weight. So now the knee pain and arthritis problem in history, absolute history. Now I can walk for almost an hour and 15, 20 minutes at a stretch at a brisk pace. And well, that's it. And I feel much younger than when I retired in 94.
Amazing, amazing. I think that's one of the most important statement you said, that you feel much younger than you retired in 1994. And I think that's, in India, and my problem is that India's average expectancy, India, unfortunately, compared to other countries in India, it's 66, 67. And while Japan and other countries is 84, 85, people live longer and more healthier. And India, there is this feeling that once you cross 60, 65, they are saying, oh, you can't walk and you can't. There is this whole misconception that after a certain amount of age, you just can't lose weight, or you just can't do this, and aapko knee replacement, hip replacement. I mean, my dad, who passed away a few years back, he had undergone a knee replacement and hip replacement. So I think problem right now is that at one end, the minute you have some mobility issues, instead of what you did of losing weight and becoming active, people are taking shortcuts. So in your case, how did you handle these challenges? Because I'm sure you must have gone to doctors who would have told you ki are ye kara lo, surgery kara lo, aisa kara lo, waisa kara lo. So in this whole, and of course you have such a wonderful family who cares about you so much. So how did you navigate this entire world of healthcare?
Well, first of all, I had to take care of my diet. That was the most important thing, because that kept on. If I didn't take care of my diet, that would have added to my weight. And next thing was to keep as much as active as possible. But now with the weight, so much of weight, someone told me, in fact, my coach also guided me, that if you lose a kilo of weight, there will be 4 kgs of less weight on your knees. So, well, actually happened that way. Initially, when I lost 2 kgs, I found that I'm much more mobile. I could, instead of 8 to 10 minutes, I could walk for about 15, 20 minutes. So activity alone wouldn't have helped. But at the same time, I had to take care of my diet, or I had to give up all the good things which I like the sweets, the junk food, as they call it. But still, I have that in very limited quantities and balance it over a period of time. So I tackle the problem from all sides. First is activity, remain active as much as possible, remain active in the house, get up early in the morning, have a strict routine in the morning, and well, that's the way I achieve. And having lost some weight, and when I felt that I'm active, that gave me further motivation. So I set a target. Initially, I was 90. I said, let me get to the milestone of 90 kgs, then 85, then 80. Then I said, let me get down to 75. But well, at 77, since the last year and a half, I'm maintaining at this level with my activity and with the active participation and guidance of my coach, who's been encouraging me from time to time.
Yeah. Now, while we will certainly talk about your coach, I think one thing, and I want to really ask you, and of course your family is also here, that what was their role in this? Because clearly this is your entire team, as we say, which motivated you and which got you here. So please share with us their role, and especially on days, किसी दिन आपका अगर मन कर रहा था कि चलो आज कुछ खा लेते हैं, or whenever you felt disappointed, how did you cheer yourself back?
Well, our complete family, my son, my daughter-in-law, and wife, they're all health conscious. They take care of the food, and in fact, my son and daughter-in-law, they started off on a very healthy diet at home. Less of carbs, more of proteins, and a very balanced meal. Mm-hmm. And they used to tick me off a number of times. My son and my wife, and every month, well, what are you doing? I mean, you won't be able to walk in due course of time. So they kept on, discouraging me from from eating all the trash. So gradually, of course, I had to have willpower to do that. And now I'm able to sustain that. So, well, they played a very, very major role in shaping the
No, but we will like to ask directly to the source, Mrs. Minocha. You have to tell us कि exactly हुआ क्या, because इन्होंने तो बोला नहीं मेरा discipline था, but store हुआ जरूर होगा.
No, because our son was after him. He forced him. He said, "You have to lose weight," and somehow it went. He himself also realized that whatever he's saying, they had an argument also on that, and then.
But argument, like for example, my father-in-law also, who's 84 now, we also keep arguing with him, but वो argue होते रहता है because there is the notion that after a particular age, people don't change their habits. So one of the difficult things is that, and I know Akhil is over here nodding his head. So tell us कि खाली argument करके ये सब हो गया. What was the real turning point? What happened?
That time it clicked. That was the thing.
So I've always seen, as I've grown up through the years, I've always seen that my father has had a tremendous amount of willpower. Just as an example, so to say, during the early years of my childhood, at a particular point of time, he was a chain smoker, and there was. I almost a chain smoker. He used to consume, not really a chain smoker, but almost a chain smoker. And everyone was behind him that, listen, chuck the cigarette. And when he left the cigarette, he left it just by throwing that cigarette butt on the ground and saying that, listen, I am not going to ever touch cigarettes once again, ever again. And that's exactly what happened. He never touched a cigarette after that at all, right? Now, the pivot or the turning point was that, he was carrying on. He had gained a lot of weight. He was very active on Goki, and the coach was also coaxing him to kind of lose more weight. But somehow that pivot was not coming in, or that realization was not coming in. So I used to be traveling a lot pre-COVID, and in one of my travels, over a span of 2 weeks, I realized that he fell down twice. I used to be away for about 2 to 3 days a week. And that's what got me worried. And when I was back home, I told him, and I had a very stern conversation saying that, listen, you have to do something about yourself. You realize you have a knee problem. And you are the one who can really do it. I mean, we can only tell you that you need to do it, but you're the one who can really do it. So all credit to him, because at the end of the day, it was about realization. And to tell you that exactly was the point that that he took on, and he lost a considerable amount of weight. I mean, at my age, I've been through a similar kind of a journey. I was just about to get into being a full-blown diabetic and things like that. And the cholesterol, and all because of my travel, and I lost about 17-18 kilos, and I reversed my onset of all the conditions. So, and you got into the perfect health zone. So that was the encouragement all around. I have kind of, my willpower is because of him. My sister's willpower, is also because of him. So we learn from him. And he's always wanting to set an example for us, as he always has been. And that is what kind of tickled him, that yes, my son is actually telling me, my wife is telling me, my daughter is telling me, and I can do it. Anybody else in his place may not have bothered about that, walked the extra mile and tried to deliver, but all strength to him that he could do it.
So, sir, tell me, is this your military background which kind of helped? Because मेरे को समझ नहीं आ रहा कि आप सब लोग बोल रहे हैं you take orders really well, right? Somebody told you follow this and you followed this. So, is that where did you inculcate this habit?
So in fact, it was inner realization. Well, where am I heading to with this much of weight? I can't lead a good lifestyle. Lifestyle was affected. My movements were affected. My socializing was affected. I was, in fact, shy of going for the get-togethers of my course mates and all. So when wisdom dawned on me, I realized, and then I said I must do something about it, and I got all the support from the family, and of course from the Goki platform, the proper guidance at the right time. So that's how when the results are there now, I'm feeling really happy about it.
I'm trying my best to take out the secret क्या है exactly. आप फिर भी आप हमको बता नहीं रहे हैं कि what exactly was the catalyst. And while we will get to that, I had one other question for you, sir. That when it came to, you had all these wins, you kept losing weight, etc. But जिस दिन अगर आपका नहीं होता था, because a lot of the times people get disappointed. So how did you deal with the disappointments?
Well, in fact, I was very particular. Once I set my aim, well, I had to reduce, and I was at it all the time. Kept on monitoring. I used to step on the weighing scale every Friday, see if I was disappointed if there was no change. If I put on even a kilo, I was disappointed. But then I said I must do something about it, and it was my willpower. Well, it saw me
So
through.
while you are giving all your credit to your willpower, we have a surprise for you. We have a surprise for you. We are actually inviting right now live your own coach to join us in this session. So I have with me Falguni, Coach Falguni Bhojak of Goki, who is a Goki coach for several years. She's been with us. She's a trained nutritionist, dietitian. She's qualified in everything health, and she's been very actively coaching you for the past several months and years. So welcome to the show, Falguni. And now you have to tell us exactly ho kya raha hai. Because ye to humko bata nahi rahe. He's like, no, I'm just disciplined.
It was the motivation of my coach from time to time. If I was not performing well or there no results,
No. So let us hear down
okay,
the
fine,
first side of the
fine.
story. Let us hear what the coach is saying, because we have heard you, and okay, yes, we give you all the credit, but let us see what the coach, why has Colonel done so well? What is happening with him? Please tell us, Falguni.
Okay, first of all, good evening, Vishal sir. Good evening, Ravi sir. Okay, so I would just like to tell, Ravi sir, he's really very much disciplined, and I can say whatever suggestions or advices we give, he's open for that. So he's open to follow any advices, and the determination and enthusiasm which he has towards the fitness. So that's the one thing. He's consistently following all the habits, and he's regularly updating all the data. Okay, so I would just like to say, in between, even when he was in Singapore for 2 months, right? In 2018. Yeah, so even then he was regular with the habits. He was in touch with me for 2 months. He was updating all his logs. He was following all his habits on regular basis. So I would say it's all efforts which he is giving. So that's all we can see the result.
And tell me, what are the main modifications he was able to do to get all these results? What did you analyze in him? Because I now know he walks in a particular pattern, he eats certain things, and how did you design this entire program for him?
Right. So first of all, as our main challenge was the knee discomfort, because of which sir was not able to walk for more than 15 minutes. So we gradually divided the timing for morning and evening, we divided the time for walk. He used to take breaks in between. Then we started with anti-inflammatory food in his meals, and also started with the physiotherapy sessions for his knee joint. And gradually we started working on his meals, controlling the portion size, going for some healthier options. Gradually he started avoiding the whole wheat, and he started with the millets in his meals. So gradually we made some changes in his food habits also, and he was able to follow the habits on regular basis. That's the thing. As you know, the whole family is into fitness, right? So he was having a support system with him to help him out with the food habits and all.
No, exactly. I think without the support system,
Right.
achieving these goals become very difficult. So Colonel, were there any particular habits which you liked over? Because clearly you're walking, from not being able to walk for 15 minutes. I think last month you walked almost equal to 4 or 5 marathons, is what I was told.
It's seven marathons.
7 marathons. Oh God, 7 marathons. That's almost.
It was a big surprise for me when I saw the tabulated data on my app sent by Goki. So
that's almost 300 kilometers.
That's right. Average about 9 to 10 kilometers a day. My average step count is between 13 to 14,000 every day I'm doing. Religiously, almost 7 days a week. At times, of course, my coach has been insisting that I should give rest to my body at least once a week, which I've been following now. So that recoups my body muscles, and then I'm fit again for the next day. Whether it's Saturday or Sunday or holiday, that's no issue.
And Falguni, you may remember, I mean, since you mentioned Singapore,
Right.
And you said 2018, right? That's what you.
Yes, 2008.
Yeah.
Right.
So 2018, when he came back from Singapore, his legs actually had got locked. So
Yeah.
for a while he was actually almost wheelchair. Not wheelchair ridden, but almost bedridden. He could barely, walk or go to even the toilet.
Right.
And that was again, your support and his willingness to kind of, or his drive to get back with physiotherapy and
Yes.
leading to what he does today, 7 marathons, walking equivalent to 7 marathons. So he really came up from that situation.
Yes, right. I remember that.
So one question, Colonel, is that a lot of people ask us, and you are the perfect person to ask you, that there are many activity trackers in the market, right? बहुत सारे अलग-अलग devices आते हैं, apps आते हैं, right? There's a lot of stuff out there. But how did Goki specifically help you? Because you've traveled the world, you could have bought any device, you could have bought anything. So how did Goki specifically help you, and do you have any suggestions for us on what can we do in the
Well, Goki is a complete wellness platform. It covers all angles, all aspects. You have live videos for various things. Of course, one has to be judicious in choosing which one would fit your case. So at times I've been watching those videos, taking the tips from there. Then you have, of course, the services of the coach to keep on guiding you. Then there's a doctor there. So it's a complete platform in totality to take care of all your health problems. And as far as other things, then of course there's the merchandise, there are the health foods are there. So it's an excellent platform. Under one platform, you have everything with you. And I've seen Goki grow from strength to strength. They've added a lot of value to their products and the activities.
And that's exactly the whole point. The idea of Goki is not just to give you information, but to also give you advice. Because information se kuch hai nahi, right? You need, and especially since you are in the military, we say you have to do surgical strike and not carpet bombing. So to do the surgical strike, we have the coach who can specifically look at the information, look at the data. And clearly Falguni has done a lot of jobs. So I think here I have a question, and we are going to make a little competition between Falguni and Mrs. Minocha to see who knows your food habits better. So we had a little bit of a quiz. देखते हैं कि कौन ज़्यादा जान सकता है आपके food habits के बारे में. So we'll have the answer, and then you have to confirm. From both the parties, we are going to ask this question. So what is...
Still is fond of sweets.
No, we are going to not sweets. I'm going to say, what is the one specific favorite dish of Colonel Minocha? First, Falguni will say, and then Mrs. Minocha will say. And then we will see whether the answer is the same or different.
Yeah, so I would like to say, sir likes South Indian food. Like whenever he goes out or whenever he's traveling somewhere, so he specifically goes for South Indian.
South Indian food. Chalo, and let's ask Mrs. Minocha, is that the same thing, or he's writing paratha?
That's very true. He's now also, when he's dieting and all, he getting a chance, he takes South Indian food.
Arey wah, that's a very good insight. We thought you would be like the true Punjabi, parathe and chole bhature, but
all that is there. Once in a while he takes all those things.
Okay.
But,
Which is his
limit
favorite
himself.
sweet? Favorite sweet.
Sweet, his favorite sweet.
Yeah, first
Who's
I'm
turn?
asking this to Falguni. One second. Then we will come to you.
Sweet, I don't know like specific, but yes, he does like to have sweets like pastry or something like, but in controlled portion, like as he said.
Control portion की बात नहीं हम तो कौन सा है favorite.
Like, so pastries or any sort of sweets, like he likes having sweets.
Let's see if that answer qualifies. Pastries. That is the one.
Not particularly pastry, but he's very fond of mithai.
Okay, what is his favorite cheat meal?
Okay, so I would like to say like Ravi sir likes having like vada pav, Maharashtrian vada pav.
Oh yes.
That's one thing.
Maharashtrian vada pav.
Yes.
I've been born and brought up in Nagpur. I was there for 42.
This is very true.
And
He's very fond of
I had
vada
two
pav.
postings in Pune, one for about 4 years, another for 3 years. So, well, I really like Maharashtrian snacks and street food.
So
Vada
vada
pav being my favorite.
is that answer tallying? Vada pav, both parties are.
Bilkul, exactly.
Wow, that's amazing. And one last question: that what is his favorite drink?
Drink. Okay, so I don't know specifically about his drink as such, but like yeah.
लोग तो आपने बहुत देखे होंगे.
Yes. No, I don't know about his specifically drink, which drink he likes.
Well, I'm a non-drinker. I used to drink a lot. I gave it up in 91. Now it's almost 30
I don't remember
years, so
any
I'm
time
a
like he has
teetotaler
updated
now.
anything. Yeah.
So
Now he doesn't
even
touch
we do.
any.
Is there any drink? Okay, let's ask Mrs. Minocha. What is his favorite drink?
As he's saying, he used to be very fond of hard drinks. And now he doesn't touch. And soft drinks, lemon based.
So nimbu pani, lemonade. These are the.
Nimbu
You don't like any juices and thing. Of course, coach would have not tell you to have juice at all.
Right.
And which is his favorite fruits?
Fruits, Ravi sir has all sorts of fruits. Like he's having different fruits, every seasonal fruits he has in his.
So no specific fruit ka naam.
No, because I have seen his logs and he's updating like every seasonal fruit he's having. So I can't think of any specific as such.
Okay.
I have 3 or 4 helpings of fruit every day. 3 or 4 times.
Wow.
Yeah.
And fruit is very good because of the fiber content.
After my walk, when I come back at about 7:38, I have a banana after. And then, of course, drink about 1 liter of water, as advised by my coach that I must have in a day 2.5 to 3 liters of water.
Wow.
And the morning water, she has advised me that I should have a bit of turmeric in that and lemon. So that's what I do. And also in the morning on an empty stomach, overnight soak the methi seeds, drink that water and chew those methi seeds, which I've been following religiously every day. So is my son and everyone in the family is doing that also.
Now chia and basil seeds.
Now they've added chia and basil seeds as well in the morning.
Wow. So Falguni, tell us what is his secret of success? I mean, you have now managed so many players under your coaching. So what is the secret sauce behind Colonel Minocha's such outstanding success?
Yeah. So I can say like the main thing which helped him a lot is his determination, his enthusiasm, and his consistency in following all the habits. So that is the one thing. As I told, he's always ready to follow the habits, and he never misses any of the habit. Okay, so that's the thing. Like main thing is determination in following the habits.
You know, it's interesting that हर आदमी credit अलग-अलग लोगों को दिए जा रहा है इसमें, but there is one person now I want to bring on. वो बोलते हैं ना कि कृष्ण ने he was in the battlefield, but Arjun was in the battlefield, but Krishna came and gave the direction and said what to do. Similarly, there is one Krishna also in this story, who actually बोलते हैं ना जिसने बताया कि ये हो सकता है और ये करना चाहिए. And I would now like to welcome another surprise on this show. who I'm going to call the Krishna in this case, who is none other than your daughter, Litika. Litika has joined us right now from Singapore, and she is the one who enlightened you कि ऐसा हो सकता है. So first of all, welcome to the show, Litika.
Hi, Vishal. Hi, everyone. I'll just correct what you said, Vishal. I didn't enlighten him. I just presented him with the Goki. That's all I did. The rest
That's
was all
exactly that is
everybody
what
else is
Krishna
doing.
did to Arjun, right? He told him कि
Yes.
ये आप युद्ध तो उन्होंने ही लड़ा, right? So you are
Bilkul. Yeah.
you are the Krishna and he's the Arjun, but the Krishna was required to tell Arjun what to do.
Yeah,
So
so the
tell us,
story goes that this was, I
how
think,
did the
about
story go? How did you, and first of all, why did you think about him? You could have, decided to gift it to anyone, and a lot of times these things happen. So tell us the story.
Yeah, so the way the story goes is, I think this was the time when you were launching Goki. And you probably have a friend in Singapore, right? Moy, who's a very close friend of ours. So he gifted my husband with a Goki and said, why don't you test it out? It's a great concept. You have a coach in this, right? And that's how it's different from Fitbit or any other pedometer that's there in the market. So when I saw that, my husband used it for about 6 months. And then when I saw that, well, this is something really effective, I basically went online and I presented a Goki to Dad. And I think Dad was in Singapore at that time when all this happened. And he also saw that, okay, this is fantastic. The whole concept of coach is extremely unique. And this was literally 5 years back or longer when you'd launched the product. So that's how the story goes.
No, but technology product, typically what happens is people are not very tech savvy. Some app use karna, that is part of the thing. Like, because what we hear from a lot of people is that, how will people use it? There is a lot of, our bigger user group is, let's say, in the 30, 40, 50 years. Yeah. About 60 people somehow feel that they can't use technology. While it is clearly not the case. I mean, we have somebody who uses every feature of Goki better than anybody else over here. So
yeah,
what became a perfect candidate for this?
Yeah, I think a lot of credit goes to Dad on that, right? Because not just with Goki, with anything else, he's got this quest for learning. And, give him a new phone, give him a new Goki, give him anything new. He'll basically go deep into it and literally try to see what it's all about. Same thing goes with Goki, right? I mean, he found it so useful, especially this whole concept of a coach. He basically just thought this is fantastic. And we keep joking that he really likes his coach very much, because even in Singapore, he was on phone with Falguni, just trying to kind of get the whole thing analyzed and stuff. So absolutely, the concept is unique. And that's what makes it so special. But like I said, the credit is all Dad's. He has this quest for learning.
And that's the most amazing thing about the gift of health. See, people, you must have gifted so many things to people, right? Box of chocolates, mithai, clothes, shoes. I mean, there are so many gift items. But when you gift somebody the gift of health, it travels and creates such bonds. I mean, the fact that we are all talking, you are here, your entire family is here. And by the way, the coach Falguni is also here with us. We have now created this completely new dimension of relationships around a positive thing like health. So what are your thoughts around how can health be adopted at a much wider way, especially on the backdrop of COVID?
I think health is something very personal and it has to come from within. Every person has to kind of feel that it's important to be healthy. I'll just give you Dad's example, right? When there was complete lockdown in Gurgaon, every time when I spoke with him, he would say, oh, aaj maine 12,000 steps kari hai. And this was literally in the house, walking up and down. And he had actually counted that, okay, it takes me, 100 meters to get from here to here. And hence I need to do X number of meters, right? So I think health is something that has to be driven from within yourself. And only then it's possible, because if somebody forces you and says you have to do it, you don't do it. It has to be from within, right? And I think the thing about health is, and again, talking about Dad, he is so positive, right? His positivity is something that he spreads everywhere he goes. And I think it's related to health. if you are healthy, you are mentally positive, and both the things, they go hand in hand in a lot of ways. And of course, if you are positive, you'll try to be healthy. So it goes both ways. So that's something that's has to come from within. It's nobody can force you to do it.
So again, Colonel Minocha, I know your kids love you a lot. उन्होंने आपको बहुत सारी gifts दी होंगी. But कभी क्या लगता है gift दिए तो लगता है अभी अब तुम मेरे को चलाना चाहते हो. What was your first thought? Because gift like this is like trying to tell you that now please start moving. It's one of those gifts which typically when you give your parents, like when like I like to book blood tests for my mother. And every time I book a blood test, she's like, हाँ अभी मुझे पता है तुम मेरे blood test पे 50 mistake निकालोगे फिर बोलोगे ये करो वो करो. So whenever I'm trying to get her test done, she kind of becomes a little annoyed with me. So how did you take this gesture from your daughter?
No, in fact, it was a very welcome gift because having seen my son-in-law interact with the coach and utilize that, so I was very inquisitive. I said I must, subscribe to it. And before I could do that, it was there in my hand. Give it to me. You have a daughter. So it was a very welcome gift, and it's very useful, and the results are there in front of everyone.
So one very interesting concept, and we had a guest on GOQii Health Talks a few weeks back, who's a global expert on longevity, and he said that a way to make your mind and body younger is to learn new things. Every time you learn a new thing, your brain actually has to rewire itself. So what are the new things you were able to learn in the last 4-5 years, which again gave you this boost? Like example, physical activity, the minute you started doing it, your brain had to realign ki suddenly आप 7 marathons भाग रहे हो हर महीने from being completely sedentary. So it gave your entire body a juice. So what were the other things which you had to learn, or something new which was introduced in your life?
Well, I was focused. Well, I must live life properly in a proper manner, in a fit condition. And well, this was the ideal tool for me to go about meeting my aims and goals to remain healthy. In fact, in the last 8 to 10 years, I had to be hospitalized thrice. I had some issues with the respiratory problems, pneumonia and H1N1. And it was all maybe because of my overweight, not being very healthy otherwise. So over a period of time, as my health kept on improving, my weight kept on reducing. Touch wood, in the last 2 years, I have got no issues at all. No issues, neither the arthritis, neither respiratory issues. It's a complete package in totality, the health support which is provided by a platform.
So tell me, as a family, the Minocha family over here, what is your outlook now, and how do all your relatives and friends suddenly look at him and say, "Ye ho kya gaya?" Matlab, like people must be a little like ये सब जो shock हो जाता होगा थोड़ा, right? So how do you deal and how do you tell ho kya raha hai? Because I'm sure so much more younger. Nobody will be able to guess his age.
I've been getting very encouraging comments and remarks from everyone. So that's again another motivation for me to now maintain it at this level. So that's a big challenge, which I must.
Now there is pressure.
That's a big challenge too. So fortunately, in the last year and a half, 2 years, I came now, I'm maintaining my weight at around 77. Now my aim is to get back to 75. That would be the ideal weight plus 10% of the weight for my height. So it should be 67. It should with 10% allowance, it's about 75, which I had achieved way back in 1985, 86 when I had to clear my medical board. So because they keep you very active in the armed forces. You have to do your physical tests, your medical tests. So I achieved that. So I am almost back to that level of 1984, 86. So, but then after that, after my retirement, I wrote it, put on at least about 20-25 kgs.
So Latika and Akhil, a question for both of you here. See, a lot of people have parents, who all need to be active, need to eat healthy. But India, there is this mentality that after an age, अरे कुछ नहीं, मैं को अभी जो खाना है खाने दो, अभी क्या मुझे ज़्यादा जीना थोड़ी है, right? So, you deal with this whole syndrome. I'm not saying this is absolutely not applicable to Colonel Minocha, but generally, people are like, अरे यार मुझे अभी 4-5 साल और जीना है, 10 साल और जीना है, जो खाना है खाने दो, जो पीना है पीने दो. So there is this thing of this attitude towards life कि अभी तो खत्म, अब मेरे को क्यों करना है. So in this process, what is your recommendation to other young people like, my mother who's now in her late 60s, early 70s, so we all have parents, but we struggle to convince them that no, it is not late, you can become active. And, my personal belief is that there is no reason why each one of us should not be living for over 100 years. Typically humans can live to 150, 160 years, by the way. If you live rightly, that's what the science says. Previously, we were all dying because of communicable diseases. If you see till World War II, smallpox, and these were the things which were killing. Now, the reason people are not living longer is because of diabetes, cholesterol, hypertension, all this which are completely controllable and reversible. We just saw that. So what is your advice to other young people who have parents? How can we convince them?
Absolutely. So, that's what I tell my mother-in-law, for instance, who, is not that active, and I try and, persuade her that age is just a state of mind. And in our extended family, we have some more examples, right? I mean, like some of my Latika and my uncles, right? So there's one uncle who's about 93 years old, and he plays golf 3 times a week. There's another who's about 98 right now, and pre-COVID he used to be 4 days a week. He's a doctor, so 4 days a week he would spend about 5 or 6 hours in a day and go for his practice to the office and keep himself occupied. So age, we've realized this, that age is absolutely just a state of mind. The moment you think that, yes, this is it, and I've reached an age and there's nothing ahead of me, it's all about getting your mind occupied into something. And that something could be a very small activity, my father and mother both, they spend a lot of time with the grandchildren, and so my sons have been fortunate. So my younger son, who is just 5 years old, so my father sits through his class every day, and works along with him in these remote sessions. So that's what it is. Latika, what do you want to add?
I'll just talk about one incident recently, which kind of demonstrates Dad's thinking, right? Very recently, Akhil had gone for, I think, a 60-kilometer bike ride or something. And when Dad was talking about it, he said, I can also do it. I should also take up cycling. So both of us, Akhil and I, were laughing, saying, no, Dad, you can't take up cycling right now. But it just goes to show that he's ready for anything, because he doesn't look at his age at all. It's about a state of mind. It's about, well, if anybody can do it, I can do it. It's just a number. Age is just a number.
No, absolutely. And since you spoke about people around, relatives, and also we have very good encouraging neighbors. In fact, I saw a comment from Sunil Bhatia and his family, feeling very happy that Dad is live. So it's a good ecosystem which is very encouraging.
That's what I said. As a society, we have to encourage this. See, India में एक problem था कि बोलते थे कि पेट आना is a symbol of prosperity. It was always considered कि अरे यार, it's a prosperity symbol. It was not a symbol that you are obese or there is a problem. So I think the challenge is a lot, and हर बात में मुंह मीठा करा रहे हैं लोगों का, जबकि हमको पता है मुंह मीठा करने से ही problem हो रही है. So I think there are certain things in society which we have to change, and that can happen if we all do this together. So it was not just while of course your efforts have been commendable, but we can see it was an entire universe which conspired. Your own effort with your supportive family, daughter, son, your daughter-in-law, your grandchildren, and of course your coach who's here, who was also equally concerned about you, even though she is possibly not met you yet, or maybe you have spoken on the phone. So Falguni, tell us, what is his next goal you are setting?
So now
he wants to do 75, but you need to push him more.
Yes, we have to work on it. Like as he told, like you have to reach to 75 now to reach his ideal weight. So now we'll be definitely working on it. We'll be making few changes in his routine, which will definitely help us out in reaching our goal.
And what are the changes? Already ये सात marathon भाग रहे हैं, इतना और क्या change कर सकते हैं? हाँ?
See, that's the thing. मतलब वो जो consistency जो है, which he is following already. So now the food habits and all, we need to make some changes, because what happens is when you are following the same routine since a long time, like your body reaches a plateau. So we need to make few changes that gives boost to your body, boost to your metabolism. So that is what we'll be working on now.
Well, all I can say, as long as you add vada pav to that diet and idli and dosa, I think he will be happy with whatever changes you are going to make. And so you are ready to accept this new challenge? He's going to change your diet?
I'm ready to accept any challenge. I want to, on my own, I want to reduce by about 3-4 kilos and another 2 inches around the waist. You'll be surprised. I was 49. My waist was 49. That was 49 years. And now I'm 38. 11 inches around the waist I've shed.
So you have to buy all new clothes. I can see your Goki t-shirt also.
So this is that. So I want to reduce another couple of kilos so that I have some allowance to indulge in some luxuries of food once in a while. So that's why
I think
this is the best. I'm really enjoying myself, feeling much younger, active, and I want to participate in everything. So that's it.
No, absolutely, Colonel Minocha. We love your spirit, your family spirit, right? And we can see why you are so strong-willed, because you have such caring, beautiful children, your wife, your entire family is so supportive. And now, apart from this, I want to give you one other challenge. Unfortunately, because of this COVID, we had to cancel this. But at Goki, we organized this 50-kilometer walk, which is done in the trails of Maharashtra. So there is this very beautiful area called Mandangarh, which is also famous for vada pav, where you come as a team. And pure jungle say you walk mountains, rivers. We will also send you the video. So I hope that after this COVID is over, we will have this event happening again, and you basically take 18 hours approximately, and you walk. And we will like to invite you. You can pair up with either your daughter, your son, your wife, and we want to not only do this. And I think a real challenge, Falguni, which we have to take is that we want to take him to do that walk of 50 kilometers, and you get 18 hours to complete the walk. And it is done in a very beautiful jungle. And you will remember your days of the military, where you were, of course, either enemy koi nahi hai, matlab sab hamare friends hi hai, there is no hostile over here, so you will be enjoying it. But that is the challenge of Goki Trail Challenge, which we would love to invite you.
God willing, I should be able to do it. I don't visualize any problem on that.
That's the spirit. That's the spirit. You have accepted the challenge in 1 second. And once again, thanks a lot, everybody, for coming on to this live show. We learned so much, and I think there is so much to learn, get inspired, and celebrate from the story of Colonel Minocha and his entire family. Like, this couldn't have been achieved without Latika thinking about giving this to you as a gift, and then you imbibing it, your coach helping you, having such a supportive family who encouraged you at every step. Because a lot of times, whenever you lose motivation, koi na koi hai jo aapko boost kar raha hai, either say coach, your family. So you had that system together. So with that, I would once again like to congratulate you and thank you from the bottom of my heart and the entire Goki family for your excellent health and long life. And we all wish you all the best wishes and good health, sir.
Thank you very much for the kind words. It's been a pleasure interacting with you. It's a real pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks a lot again. Bye.
Thanks, everyone.